Give this a wee minute to boot up and we'll get right back into it. Oh crap, I forgot to fix the title. Let's do that. It's technology. It's important to use the same title on YouTube. Otherwise, you kind of have to rediscover your audience every time you go live. And we are a small channel in the process of growing. So let me go ahead and get that sorted right out. But it does look like we're live, so we'll get right back into it. All right, folks, if this is your first time seeing this, this is a development stream where I build a virtual world that's literally powered by YouTube live chat. It's also what enables me to share my screen and share my cameras, share my audio, and basically compose this stream. It currently integrates with YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Discord, and it can control OBS via WebSockets. We're working with nodejs, we're working with WebGL, Canvas, and React for the front end. That is it. So anyone that looks at the VOD of this in the future or who's watching this live on Twitch, etc., this is Kynto. Let's see, I can also bring it up over here. This is Kynto. This is a room that someone made in the past. They made the map of Italy. Very cool. We've got to jump right back into it though, so we'll switch your screen over here. Get my face out of the way, and then we'll send off some notifications to Discord. Let the regular folks know that we're live. I can do all that from right in here. Click start connection. We'll click populate live links, and we'll just ensure that that fired out okay. And we see some activity in the YouTube chat, or if we see it, we'll go ahead and activate the YouTube live chat. Where is Discord? Why isn't it open? Check out the phone. Give this a wee minute. Hopefully the kerfuddle with the title and our category doesn't interfere with anything. And then dive right into the to-do list. It's currently 83 degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at, and 1:33 AM. Also that is 28 degrees Celsius, so lovely warm night. The nights are much more bearable than the days, that's for sure. Okay, so Discord is not opening on the computer. We're just going to go check our... yeah. It's not listed. That's because I forgot to start our YouTube instance. So we're going to activate it now. Click start. Popular subscribers counter.
1 new subscriber.
Let's see what viewers, what people are watching. Let's go ahead and blast this out again. So populate live links. There we go. Both links are up now. All right, folks. It's up to YouTube if they'll pick us up tonight. We've been trying a couple of different things over this weekend. Today was my first test where I walked around in the free world with my phone and brought avatars along. I walked to the beach and I'm feeling it right now. My body is sore. I'll start hopping into things. So there's a couple of things that I want to do just to optimize the streaming experience when out and about. First, we're going to make a nice simple setting so we can hide these tiles. I think it would be cool if we could just have the avatars overlaid over a stream and not require any tiles, so we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to set up an express route to trigger a WebSocket event for pulling in our YouTube live chat. So anyone that types into the YouTube live chat, if you look at the bottom of the screen on YouTube, you'll see there's avatars on the screen, right? We can control it via the web app, but why this is relevant for you is you can actually control your avatar from the live stream chat. and everybody gets a unique voice. It'll read out your message after I'm moderating it, and we can talk code. You can submit links for me to look at, and I'm happy to look at code as well. So what we'll probably do is take a look at the email inbox. So we've got a couple people that have been sending stuff over. Yeah, get on with it. I did mess up. See, part of the problem with growing a YouTube channel is we've got something that works, right? It's these portrait night streams. But I've been wanting to expand it on YouTube a little bit so it's easier to see me coding. So I did try it the horizontal live stream. But part of the issue is YouTube basically has to rediscover the audience for horizontal live streams. And we've been having a lot of success or growth, you could say, with our portrait live streams. We've got a lot of people coming in all over the world, testing out live chat and just giving us a good time as we code. You know, I have to balance like almost fear of screwing up what's already working with, you know, trying new things. Okay, so I think we'll just start coding. The first thing I wanted to do is pick up where we left off yet last night. I implemented some methods to essentially pause and play our YouTube live chat implementation. I'm going to go ahead and just add a manual ability to fetch messages. So say our system is paused, or I don't even want to run it on a poll duration, or I have an extremely long poll duration for fetching live chats. I want to be able to manually trigger it from this little control deck on my desk. So we'll go ahead and do that. What should we call it? Maybe just fetch. We'll call it fetch. And the cool thing is I've already set up the express route, so it's a dynamic query parameter. So we don't have to do anything to write requests from Express or our WebSockets. I think the method is just called fetch messages. Let's have a look. Fetch messages. Yes. So here's our fetch messages loop. I've had a couple of folks ask me how the live chat implementation works on YouTube. And the truth is, it's kind of gross. We're making a GET request to an API that they stood up for this purpose. There's no WebSockets, there's no webhooks. We have what we have. Okay. So all we're going to do is invoke this specifically. We've got two choices. We can either invoke this loop right here, which would essentially clear the timer, or I think it's dangerous to actually invoke this twice. I think it'd make more sense to directly invoke the logic that actually fetches the messages. So I have multiple integrations up here. Like if we hop over and just look at Twitch, I implemented Twitch. They do have a WebSocket support, much cleaner implementation. Create my own plugin system for the avatar chat that makes this all possible. Like, kind of allowing for modular development. All right, so let's take a look here. So it does look like we're going to pass in some parameters. What is YouTube? Let's follow this logic. Look, you can see this is basically invoking itself. So in a sense, it's a recursive loop. Well, let's look what it's first defined, and those dependencies are injected. Looks like that's up here. All right, I should already know what it is. Interesting. So this is our library instance. We have our live chat ID, which is pulled from our video ID. It looks like I go ahead and pass that as well. Let's come back down here. Just grab this out here. And we'll go down to fetch implementation. We can just pop this. It feels kind of gross, doesn't it? Alright, that'll do it. Thank God, didn't we do? Secret state. The length. Different state. Field ID. Skip it. And this will skip the pause, but we don't want to skip checking if the plugin's active. It might just make more sense to blow all these out into local variables, but we'll just carry on for right now. I found when developing a project for yourself, a passion project, something you're not being paid to build, but one you want to build, do whatever it takes to get code on the screen and code executing, because then that gives you something to improve, refactor. I see a lot of people, and I've been trapped in this, where you just you get too worried about doing it right without even trying anything. So it's almost easier not to build. Don't get caught in that. Where are we? Folks, please go ahead, drop a like and subscribe, and feel free to ask any questions in the live chat. I'll go ahead and drop some of the commands that you can trigger in a second here. Appreciate that. So you know, this is also live on Twitch, and folks can even join us on Twitch, and they also get represented on stream and can talk with us, which is pretty sweet. I actually got surprised the other day when I had a person talk to me on Twitch, and that time when I set up the stream, I didn't go ahead and do my whole process, where I activate all my integrations. It was running from the night before, and even in between streams, it still worked. So I was quite happy with that. Let's go just see if it's still up, actually. We'll do it on a tab off site here.
Twitch_CodeLoch says hello from Twitch.
Cool beans. All right. So now we have added that method to essentially manually fetch our messages for YouTube. All we're going to do is just pop a button on in the React front end. Too many files called YouTube in this project. Here we go. Hot fetch. Okay, that'll do for that. Let's go ahead and actually work on some of the WebGL canvas layer of this project. Like I said, there's some improvements to what I make here, just like the ability to hide tiles, specifically when we're streaming, possibly. It doesn't always make sense to have, you know, tiles on the screen. It'd be cool if the avatars could walk over the code, maybe pointing stuff out by physically maneuvering over there. So let's look at what I have coded so far for rune setting. It's been a while since I've been in this part of the project. We have rotation. You can set the zoom. So let's just go in there right now. Just start laying this out. Oh, what's going on here? So check this out as well. Back when I created this project, or recreated it, I created a little thing called camera, and this lets you create GIFs of like things that are happening in the world, and you could select different filters, but the filters are broken now. Essentially shaders that get applied to the camera. So we want to go ahead and fix that, get that back up and running. We're using absolute paths now for our imports. Let's see, can it find us? There we go. A little bit better. It's always good to specify an extension. Well, it looks like this is due for a refactor. This is a class-based component in React. I recommend you do not implement that today.
Sakib Mansuri says hand pink waving.
Hello, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you had a good weekend. You don't want to use class components in React. Part of the reason some of these components are classes is because I started actually coding this, rebooting the project around the time of the pandemic. And back then, functional components in React weren't fully rolled out. So that's definitely due for a refactor. What we're going to do is just add. Well, we've got two options here. I can make it an account level setting. It probably would make more sense. I have a much more dynamic system for that. Essentially, I can throw in Boolean toggles anywhere in the system. So like if I come here, you see these settings right here. These are super dynamic. And like anytime I build a feature, I can just throw up a reference to this component, specify the settings key for that user, and then boom, we have something that is user controlled. So I think it actually makes more sense to pop it in there. What we're going to do is break open our settings for the user. Should be this guy. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We just have a nice little component here. You specify name, label, description, and you can also label the buttons if you like. So we're going to add another setting here. So Boolean setting. We could actually just do it like this. Probably would make more sense. Let's see if our setting popped up. Okay, there it is right there. Display world titles. Let's just go throw in a description for it. Break this out so we have more space here. The OCD kicking in. The description. There. So it's actually been a while since I worked on the WebGL canvas layer. I use a phaser to abstract most of that. Most of the work that I've done recently has been on the server side and the React UI. So I'm curious if I'm making use of any of these settings anywhere. I'd like to find out. I think updating any setting fires off an event into the event bus, like updated config, and then we can just subscribe to that. Obviously the phaser side doesn't react, so we can't use effects or anything like that. What else are we looking at? I think that'll do it. Alright. So unfortunately most of the logic is in a file called map.js. Just take a look at all our event listeners here. Let's see if there's one for config updated. You can see most of these are in an enum, some are not. And you can also see the progression from when arrow functions were introduced to the project and when they weren't. Like I said, parts of this project are well over 4 years old now, just crazy. I've still been working on it every night, building it. Most of that has been spent building out the streaming functionality, which I tested today. So if we look at this, we can share desktop, we can share camera, microphone, and that's what I'm using in another instance, so a screen here to actually compose the stream so you can see it. Right folks, we've got 11 people watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I want to build this channel out, I want to break it, I want avatars everywhere. And the only way we can do that is by getting YouTube to pick us up. Alright, that's enough with the beg and carrying on. Okay, client set config. So that's where we can respond to this. That's so much to go off of. But one of the big things that we actually have to do is optimize the WebRTC implementation. It's quite painful to get WebRTC working. It's essentially peer-to-peer media streaming. So even when you think of streaming traditionally, you compose a stream in something like OBS or Streamlabs and shoot it out to YouTube or Twitch. Eventually this is what happens here, but by encoding my own pre-stream setup, it allows me to invite people onto the stream. So that's why I've been able to have like chess matches in the past on here. And, Walter was able to join and then he was able to drop off without me restarting or stop the stream. I realise a lot of people just use Discord for that lot of stuff, that type of stuff, but I'm here to code, I'm here to learn, and that's what this really is a sandbox and it's a passion to build. Alright. Let's take a look at some of the other notes I've got written down here. So we've got our TTS panel as well, we can work on that tonight. It's basically taking the existing TTS system we've created, everyone already has unique voice, already reads them out, but someone else is talking, and then someone else quickly messages after, it'll actually cut their message off. I don't want to have that, I want everyone's message to get read out, I don't want to miss anything, so we have that. And then we can also tweak the voices and the pitch and the rate it's read back at. One of the cool things we're going to do here is it's going to detect if I'm talking and automatically pause the TTS system. So normally we do have manual unpause, pause and play. We're going to code in some detection now. And another thing, we're not going to get to tonight, but I noticed my pathfinding implementation at A*, I'm just using That's something I found on the web a couple of years ago. It's quite slow. It works well when your tile radius is like 40 tiles or less. But any bigger than that, it just bogs down. So a couple options there is spinning it off into a service worker, so it doesn't lock up the main thread in the browser while that's running. And the best thing to do would just be to optimize it. Maybe that's where an opportunity for us to explore WebAssembly, because I honestly haven't messed with it. I'm not aware of the power of it and what it's enabled. But that is an API that I don't have a ton of experience with. Yeah. So in order to make these tiles invisible, we've essentially got two things we have to do. We have to listen to our configuration on render of the tile, decide if it should be shown or not, and then when the set is updated. So we've got two things to do there. As you can see, this file handles a lot, and it used to be much bigger, but I've broken a lot out of it. This event bus architecture implementation has made it really easy to build something this large with so many different components on front and back end, and even different technologies on the front end, because I have a Steam app, for example, on my Steam Deck here that contains Kynto and gives it additional functionality that doesn't exist in a web browser alone, using Electron. And then React Native allows me to do a similar thing for Android and iOS. Alright, that's enough blabbing. Let's get to work. I think I already may have implemented something there. I forgot. Yeah. Let's see, where we use the user settings. Right here, we have access to user settings. So we'll grab that. Where are we rendering the tiles? I can't help myself. Targeting static method, where was it? Draw dynamic grid. Let's go have a look in there. Do it in there, actually. That makes sense. That's typing. set this to true. Well, let's just test out if that works for at least our initial render. We'll have to reload the bin in order to test in between updates. That's fine. Yeah. What was the actual setting called? Enable tiles. I called it show tile. So that built pretty quickly. I think. Yes, it did. So currently it's rendering. I'm going to turn it off. Still rendering them. Let's investigate. Well, found a bigger issue. Oh. Might be setting the alpha to type somewhere else as well. This is where we actually rendered it. And call the draw and activate. So either one of those could be overriding our alpha, or it could be happening in stack title, but I didn't see why that would be the case. Let's hop into draw here. The alpha, so it should be using the alpha that's specified. Initial alpha. Looks like it might be overriding it. Let's set that as well.
One new subscriber.
Let that set again. Folks, don't forget, you can test the system out just by talking to the live chat. Talk code, just play around in it. And hurry up and build. Compare is visible. Do it. Quick look at logs here. Looking for the right one. And we are. Swallowing up our logs. Is our build actually successful, or do we have an error here somewhere? Successful? Why are logs being swallowed up? Very, very strange. Forever potential areas that alpha's been overused. But what logic going on in this little isometric thing? Okay. Jeez.
Ankolite says that looks like Habbo Hotel.
You're welcome. Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised that's how I got into coding. A little bit different how I use it though. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions, but what year did you play Habbo Hotel if you played it? This has a whole bunch of streaming capabilities as well. It's quite a bit to it. It's actually how I share my code environment, share my screen, share my cameras. And obviously it integrates with all the live chats. But yeah, Habbo Hotel is why I got into coding in the first place. I was a broke immigrant in America and I'm kind of our kid here. Yeah, I couldn't get my mom to give me money for HC or for me. So I cut grass and learned how to code. Yeah, kind of been on that path ever since. But right now I'm working on hiding these tiles. Well, you know what? I'm confusing. They're making it too complicated. Start off simple and go from there. You just want to add a button there that triggers this, or if it's coded. I'll take care of it. So I have that set up elsewhere in the React layer. Have that set up over here. This event's used for a couple other things. I don't want to throw that off. we'll go pop in a button. Oh, forgot to hook this up to an event. Buy this.
Car Lover says hello.
Hey Car Lover, how you doing, buddy? Cars are pretty brilliant.
Can you ask me JS beginner questions? At CodeLoch.
So, Car Lover, you're looking to learn JavaScript? You're in the process? How long have you been learning? More than happy. I also have a Discord with a lot of folks that are learning as well. So I'll go ahead and drop that link in a wee second. You can also find it in my YouTube profile links. You know, when you click a channel, it's the top link over there. But yeah, I'm more than happy. Maybe I can help.
Unfortunately, I'm having an issue from my side, that's why I couldn't hear your voice. That's why if you are trying to ask me JS questions, you can type it here in live chat.
I hope it's on your side and not just mine. Let me check, make sure the audio's coming through. Right, so it looks like I'm working here. Give me a wee second, I'll ask you. What would I ask someone this into JavaScript? So I just asked you, what's the difference between math.round and math.abs? It's more of a code question.
Darren Onder Aaron says, what framework is that?
What framework? Okay, so the project's split into a bunch of different parts. We just went from the WebGL and Canvas side. Right now we're in React. So I use the React for the user interface. Like right here, I can share my desktop, camera, microphone. That's how I'm composing the stream. And avatars are rendered inside of a Canvas tag. And then I have a Node.js backend, which talks to the front end and the client. You know, pulls stuff from like YouTube live chat, Twitch and stuff. Appreciate the question. What do you like to use to code? What's your favorite language and what's your favorite platforms?
Yes, I was talking about the front end, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. At work I use Vue 3. At home I use React. Mainly because that's just what I picked at the time when I rebooted this project. When I started coding, God, came up with my own crappy little frameworks, let's just put it that way. Started coding in 2007, I think. I was literally a child.
90 directory says just take your Tim.
Yeah, you're right on there. Appreciate you. There is no rush, and it's always good to be reminded of that. I do have to rush tomorrow for work though, but we don't need any details from this. So I use the event bus basically to tie the React and the Canvas layer together. It also expands much further than that, but that's what I'm doing here. Just mapping some buttons to our avatar layer. We want to hide and show those tiles on demand. I think it'd be cool to let like avatars walk over the code and stuff. So that's what I'm setting up. I think I spelled visibility wrong, but I'm just gonna... All right. Appreciate the like. Let's get a like counter updated. By liking and subscribing and just chatting in the system, you'll see that the health bar, the stream goes up. So you actually help that. It goes down in a couple of ways. Either we get too many people watching without interacting, that actually hurts stream health. Kyle Lover, I sent you a question. Check the chat. Oh, okay. I didn't hear your message get read out, so I definitely have to work on a TTS system here. I know some methods for math, but don't know those two. I'm a beginner, so it'd be great if you could ask me beginner-friendly questions. Okay. It's a simple one.
CodeLoch says at CarLover, if you wanted to update a tab LEN dynamically in raw.js, how would you do that?
Appreciate it, really. That helps us out.
I'll probably do it by using DOM manipulation.
Yeah, so that's a good response. I believe I don't even think the title property is part of the document object model technically, but you want to go ahead and confirm that. It'd be good to confirm. The other way you could update it, well, it is actually, because there's a title tag. Yeah, so you're right. There's a title tag and header. I'm crawling tonight, but it's my habit to get on here, and that's where we're at. Unexpected token. Let's think of another one. Does anyone have any beginner-friendly JavaScript questions for Carver? We're in a world today where you almost can't get by without using JavaScript framework. Let's see. So that's right. You could also set it directly just via document.title. You can also set it that way. You could also use document get element by name and then specify title and get the first element of the day. I wouldn't recommend it that way though, but that's the cool thing with coding. JavaScript, just the DOM. There's a million different ways you can do the same thing essentially. Oops, looks like we ran out of recording space. Well, hopefully that doesn't interrupt our stream here. Let's go test this real quick. Yeah, I think we're well by the...
And can you PLS type if my answer is correct?
Oh, let's go run your JavaScript, see what the browser has to say. Yep. You are correct. It's really small, so you can't see it, but yes, you're correct. So let's think of another one.
Correct, let me think of another.
Good, thanks.
we're thinking of a JavaScript question for Calendar. We're feeling out how far it is, how far they are in the JavaScript journey. Let's see.
Just a curtain.
All right, here's one for you.
At CarLover, how would you get the first element from an array, i.e. const lay equals my app, my site?
So how would I get that string value, my app, from that element? And this is simple, but we're figuring out where you're at in your journey. Even just, you know, it's honestly not, when you're getting into coding, right, we're just figuring out how to access arrays is important, because then you'll be able to manipulate them using filters, for loops, all that good stuff. So it all builds on each other. What was I looking at? We had an error down here. Where was it?
Can you clarify the question? I mean, you want to delete the first element, or at CodeLoch.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Boy. Ah, I see. Okay.
I know the full process, but I don't know that OD name.
So you're saying you don't know the method name? Yep, explain the process.
Let me tell you the process.
So CarLover's trying to figure out how to get the first element from an array to set the document title, essentially. There's a couple of different ways you could do it. It's kind of a trick question when you get into accessing arrays. Where's that button? And I think it's great you're learning without using AI, because you'll you'll just do a lot better. Use your AI once you...
Then store them in a new variable.
So I'm going to push you there, Carlover.
Maybe the OD is push, pop.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
You could use pop and shift to pull out elements from arrays, but that actually modifies your array.
I am doing it. Yup.
So I want you can directly access that array using your, what do you call them, brackets?
Maybe shift or unshift.
Yeah. Let me know if you want me to tell
calling
you.
a OD.
So you don't have to call a method to actually get that first element of the array.
Did I get it right?
Kinda, but not exactly. Those ODs modify the array. You can access the array without modifying it. One more try.
Anonymous Fox.
Can you
hello,
tell me
welcome.
how to do that without calling a OD, or if we can call the OD, then which OD?
Yep. Okay, so for example, you could do
I tried my best, but I couldn't figure it out.
so if I type this, does this return the first or second element in the array?
Noted it. I'll for sure do research about that QS.
Yeah, no problem. So using the square brackets, you can essentially
This
access
returns
that
the
array.
second element.
And that is correct.
We have to do 0. That was so easy. I forget that.
Correct.
Any other question? aside DOM and array slash.
When would you use set interval over set timeout?
You can essentially use both of them in a way that equals each other, but we're coming at this from a beginner perspective. So why would you use set interval over set timeout? Because there is a key difference between them. I just want you to explain what they do. There we go. So we got it hiding and displaying the titles. It took a little while. But this way, we'll be able to have avatars like walk over the code. Check this out. If I come in here and share my code environment. Like that. We can physically point out bits of code. All right, no problem. Let's see what else we can send you to do some homework for. Thinking of more code questions for Carlover over here. Folks, make sure that you like and subscribe. We talk code. I sit here and build this project. It looks like you guys are subscribing, so I appreciate that. Let's see, what else can we do? So you've got a lot to learn about. You're going to learn about optional chaining, nullish coalescing operator. But if we want to keep this simple, appreciate you, Carlo. Thank you. Operators, syntax. Okay. Just do a little syntax. Let's be shorthand. Guys that are listening, what beginner JavaScript questions do you have for car lover? We want to focus on syntax. Right, got easy one. Well, so this is called a ternary. I want you to figure out what's wrong with this line. And hello Zafar, how are you doing? Appreciate the like. I think that was you. That helps the channel out greatly. Please make sure you subscribe as well. Zephyr, I'm coding a virtual world that is controlled by live chat. I'm not sure why it's not reading out your comments. There's just one error in there, Carlover. Let's see what's going on with YouTube. Oh, everyone disconnected. Let's reconnect it. So it's going to go crazy. Give it a second, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Which one was it? This one. Oh, I think we ran out of tokens tonight. We lost live chat. Bummer. There for a little bit. Essentially, I have to set up. Well, what is the video title? This whole system is populated from the live chat itself, and as Carl ever tell you or anyone else has been watching this stream up until this point, has been reading everyone's messages out. You know what I think it is? I think we ran out of requests. I'm actually going to reboot the server real quick. We'll test it in our local real quick, see if it works there. Because I have a hard-coded limit on the server, so we don't get in trouble with YouTube. I think we're just straight out of tokens tonight, guys. Sorry. But I'll show you how it works from Twitch, because that is still up. Right. Did that again, so I shouldn't be to you can tell it's almost 3 in the morning.
Hey Zephyr. This is supposed to work for YouTube too.
Awesome. Well, I think you'll pick up through osmosis if you're watching that content too. So that's good. But yeah, so we ran out of tokens on YouTube tonight, which kind of sucks, I'll be honest. But I can actually show you some code, because this bypasses it completely. The problem is I can't use this in production, so you're not going to hear it read out the messages, but at least you'll see it work over here. Active. See, there's everybody's messages. Oops. Yeah, Carl Lover, thank you. You help with that as well. Let me look at your question here. I think what I'll do for tomorrow's stream, because I do have a staging server set up now, because the ban from YouTube essentially lasts 24 hours until the tokens reset. I'm going to use the staging server tomorrow, and it kind of gets by this whole API situation. Yeah, I'll start winding it down. Let me drop the Discord link, just because the chances of you even running into me again are very low, even if you subscribe. You know how YouTube works, right? There you go. And you see that the system automatically filters out links and stuff. And Zephyr, just for you real quick, if you check this out, you can see there's like different rooms and worlds in Kynto you can see. That guy made the map of Italy. I'll show it over here as well. All sorts of cool stuff. The main focus is just getting it hooked up to the live chat system. So I feel like that's the easiest way to get people to play this, is basically on live chat. Which is kind of funny. And if you guys have any ideas for things you'd like to see me code, let me ask you that, Carl. So I was just suggesting, think about coding a game. It's a great way to learn how to code. When I first coded my first versions of this, before there was Canvas, WebGL, Unity, any of that stuff, I just absolutely positioned image elements on the screen and moved them around as sprites. And you could code all sorts of stuff. It worked out for me. I'm going to bring our Docker container down and then restart it. I'm curious to know if we just ran out of tokens or we hit my hard-coded limit for the amount of requests that I can make to YouTube in a day. So I put my own limit in to avoid triggering YouTube's. So it's going to give us a blue screen of death here. And then we'll let that reboot, test it. I commend you for getting out there, just putting yourself on the spot as well. That's this. Where were we? Just try to get you thinking, not so much that like that's just how it is, but why is it that way? And that's why I'm emphasizing the why and the how. I think the real sign of a good programmer is being able to dig in deep. And hello, Anonymous Fox 7, good to see you back here. I've seen you here earlier. Okay, we didn't run out of tokens, cool. Anonymous Fox 7, I coded this platform myself.
do you use?
Anonymous Fox 7, great
So
question.
just research it, as it trips up many JS devs even with many years.
Yup. I get it. I right now Googled about that.
Good, that's what I want to hear. You want to research it. Anonymous Fox 7, what types of languages do I use here? So I use JavaScript. That's how I basically coded this for the front and the back end. So those are two terms you're going to hear in this stream and other people's projects. So we use JavaScript, but inside of that, I use React for the UI. So that's how I do all this stuff.
It gave 2 reasons for this keyword and cleaner and shorter syntax. And I also know about this keyword and return keyword.
Do you know about promises and await/async functions at CarLover?
Appreciate the additional like, whoever that was. Let's update our counters again since we're all back in line. Cool.
These are
Questions up?
also in my topic lists, like callbacks and promises, and asynchronous.
No problem, Anonymous Fox 7. Are you coding yourself? Are you looking to get into it? Or are you just curious?
Async await. Probably callbacks are these, right? Equals greater than. Just would dive in.
Once
Let's
you
push a
master
small
syntax
change
or
here.
get confident with it, you can explore the exciting APIs in JS such as WebSockets, Canvas, WebGL, and Accessibility API to make the browser talk like I did for my TTS.
Okay, thanks, slightly smiling face. Noted.
So right now, you're going to just see me make a small code change to 2 different parts of the project, run it from a build pipeline. So we're going to commit code to our release branch, and then we're going to trigger a build pipeline that's going to push this out so we can reload it live. And we can get rid of the tiles for this test, so we can put avatars on screen. So I think that's where we'll get to tonight. So let me go ahead and commit the client changes now.
Okay, bye.
Well, I'm still here till this is done. Maybe another 5-10 minutes. most complicated night of development on my end, but definitely cool get to talk through code with CodeLoch and Anonymous7 and Zephyr. I think it's great you guys are curious about code. Some of you are learning it. I think that's brilliant. And you learn just stuff through osmosis, you know, watching this stream, watching other people's code stuff. Like at the end of the day, it boils down to logic, which humans are already pretty good at. So you're kind of pre-wired to code in a sense. You just have to find a way to express it, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is Jenkins. I use this to essentially package up my code changes and release it. Makes it easy. Whole bunch of configuration that I went through to set this up so it's as easy as it is for me to release updates. As you can see, all we did was a simple thing. We added an event handler for Kynto tile visibility, and then on the React side, just a button to control it. And once that's done building, two parts of the project, we'll go ahead and reload our production-facing side, the side that you guys are talking through, and then I'll go ahead and hide the tiles. So and that'll be our goal. Folks, make sure you subscribe and like this stream, just so you know that these avatars are controlled by everyone that's chatted thus far. If you want one, claim it by typing a message, and you'll literally be part of the stream. Talk code, if you're a new beginner, or if you experience what to tell me off, happy for it all. I appreciate your support. Okay, so that side's done building. Where are we at here? We're waiting for this. So right now it's currently installing all the npm dependencies. It's an npm CI, and then it goes ahead and packages that up, populates our env files, and tars it, and then uploads it via SFTP essentially. And then we can just literally reload the tab. We'll be able to make those tiles disappear.
Steam Deck joined Italia. Can it work when you use the code in Hub?
Can it work when you use the code in GitHub? So do you mean like, can you just use stuff from GitHub? Absolutely. If that's your question. You can start by just going in GitHub. You find a project or a game that you like, you want to modify, that's definitely something you can do. Wow, this build's taking a while. Look at this, 3 minutes and 17 seconds for npm CI. That's crazy. Anonymous Fox 7, have you got any projects on GitHub that you're looking at that you're interested in? Because I'm happy to review anything you find interesting, talk about it, maybe talk about how I'd use it. All right, that's done. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pause the TTS system, so if you respond and I'm reloading, it doesn't skip your message. So let's try that. Let's click pause. I'm going to go over here. And you'll just see this entire world. Sorry to shout. Reload this. Double reload to be safe because of cache busting. Oh no, I just thought of something. This isn't going to work. Because I didn't add a button for this. Oh well. Oops. Yeah, I think the 3:15 a.m. is getting to me. Because all I want you to do is release this. What the hell? Okay, one more time, I'm gonna message the chat. It's like my play button isn't working now either. Bloody hell. Quickly check the logs. Done a lot of changes to make the IRL streams possible with the avatars. Let me see what I could have broken here. Should be fetching it. Maybe my message was too long.
Car Lover says back.
Go back, however. Yeah, if you see anyone else that is wanting to learn about JavaScript or just wants to see something unique up here on YouTube, please feel free to send them this channel. Also on Twitch and stuff. You can see way more of the coding environment there. I'll just demonstrate that on YouTube. Give me a second here. So you see right here, you can see way more of the code environment. You can also see me sometimes. But that's nice. Oops, forgot about that. Then you can see it's successfully filling out the spam, so that's good. Yeah, just subscribe, follow anywhere you can, support the channel, and we'll get back to it tomorrow. Cheers, folks. I'm going to shut this down unless you've got any last questions, Car Lover or Anonymous 7.
Any last questions before I head out?
I'll have support for a week callback in here. I should do. Okay, I do. I've got unchange. Perfect. Subscribe to that. So I'll add that functionality right here before I head out. Was it that one? I don't think it was. It's time for me to log off. What's going on here? Oh, that's fine. Hide the titles from here, or display them. Perfect. Well, that'll conclude tonight's stream, guys. I'll go ahead and drop the Discord link. You can also find it in my profile on YouTube, where it's actually clickable. Just click my channel name. Do make sure to subscribe, make sure to like it, and we'll get more avatars on screen probably tomorrow night. It tends to build up during the start of the week. Hope everyone has a great week. Keep learning, keep coding. Just stay curious, everyone. Thank you. And check this out. I've coded it. Cheers for that additional subscriber.
Snappo says 1 new subscriber.
So you're gonna see I literally coded this so I can terminate the stream and everything from right in here. So I have this thing that lets me control the stream essentially. So we're gonna connect, fetch state, and as soon as I click stop streaming, we'll all disappear. Takes a wee second, but yeah. First step is to disconnect the YouTube live chat from the TTS system and the avatar. So just click stop here, and then you'll see everybody's gone. It's just me in this room. Oh, that's just, I'm on the local host. I have to remember to do it on the server. All right. That would have been bad. So this is production. So I'm terminating the YouTube live chat integration. click stop, and you can see everybody's disappeared. And then the last step for me to turn this off, click connect, literally click stop streaming, and that's it. So once again, thank you for your support, folks. Like and subscribe so we can get more people on